are listening to the Books as Bad as Twilight podcast,
where we are reading Elixir by Hilary, Duff, and Elise Allen.
Visit us on our website,
www.BaBaTpodcast.com.
Get lost with us.
That's going in the intro.
That's so funny.
All right, I'm going to stop now. Unless you have something funny to say.
Boobs. Just the whole thing is on reverse. First time in a long time. First time in a long time. We were in the car the other day. And we were talking about Heineken, the beer, and Rolling Rock. It was Rolling Rock. And it doesn't really fucking matter because I didn't have either of them. And I speak in rhythm and tones, apparently.
Oh.
I guess it's like a northern thing. My one friend, Bernadette, who came from California and moved to Pennsylvania. Well, she lived all over the place. But when she moved to Pennsylvania, she said all of our accents are very sing-songy.
Oh.
Because if you listen now, my pitch goes up and down, like, constantly.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Like, so it's very sing-songy. And so when I was in the car with Kevin and we were talking about beer, like Heineken or Rolling Rock, I don't really remember which one. Doesn't matter. And I was like, I never had it. And so I was in the middle of a sentence like, oh, I never had it. And then we were like waiting for the rest of my sentence. Both of us were. Because it sounded like a song.
Yeah.
That left, like, cut in the middle of it. I never had it. No. So
damn it.
We'll be driving and he'll be like, I never had it.
That's actually amazing because you're making me think, like, that could be like a sitcom. That could be like a gag in a sitcom. Like,
just like wait.
Right. Because have you ever watched Parks and Rec? I
love Parks and Rec.
Okay. That's great to hear because I love I've been rewatching it. Mm-hmm. Like, I love it so much. But, I just watched the episode where I think it's where Tom like debuts his drink at the club.
Oh, yeah. Snake bite or whatever.
Yeah, snake juice.
Snake juice.
And John Ralphio keeps trying to like give people compliments with like a rap. And so he'll like try to end on a rhyme, but like then he'll like add one more word that like doesn't work. Maybe I'll insert it in at this
and they're
point.
Like, oh, Ralphio.
And he's like, dude, you should have stopped there. And he's like, I know, man.
Money, please.
Oh, God.
She's my favorite.
Oh God, the Ralphios. Oh, that's their last name, right? That's not their last name.
That's his first name.
That's his first name. What's their last?
I don't
know. Why does it matter? Like, it doesn't.
I never had it.
That's an inside joke now.
Oh, there you go.
Never
Brian.
had it. Brian. Brian, we're coming for you. All right.
I hope you showed him or told him.
I did. We talk about it all the time.
Oh, he left a comment and saying we shouldn't
get in
contact with these boat people, and I never replied.
Oh my God, you're right. Brian, I am so sorry.
Thank you for being our most active member.
Seriously. Brian, I think Brian is honestly the best listener because like he told me straight up he's going to like try to tell his friends about us. And I'm like, Brian, that is so cool.
He's a sweetheart.
Thank you. You know what? So, side note, this will probably be cut out too. But I lived at an apartment in Westchester, and since I'll be moving there, hopefully soon when I get a job there. Whoa, sup? But I lived in an apartment with my friend, and there's this walk-in closet area, and it's actually really big, and so I thought that would be a perfect place to record things. So I'll probably put all my recording equipment in there. And what I'll do is I'll put those like mesh things on the walls because there's no windows, which is perfect.
Do you think you're going to live in the same apartment?
Well, they are the same. Not in the same exact one, but in the beginning I'll probably live there.
You kind of want to live in the same development? Or does she still live there?
No, I want to just live there to begin. I won't stay there. But just to get my, it's a cheaper place. You don't pay for heat. They pay for it. So I thought it would be a good, nice starting place, And I've lived there before, so they know that I can pay on time and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So figured it'd be a good starting place.
Yeah.
So I already know how it's laid out. It's a nice place for me to begin my life's journey as a single woman living in the city.
A montage just starts with you throwing your cap in the air. What was that, Liza Minnelli?
Yeah.
And then just jumping in the air.
Wait, oh no, is that Mary Tyler Moore?
Is it Mary Tyler? Yeah, that.
You're gonna make it after all. That's so funny.
And you freeze frame. Didn't they do that in Kimmy Schmidt? And then like the hat falls.
Yeah.
It's such a good trope.
I
love that.
You just reminded me I need to rewatch Kimmy Schmidt. Well, folks.
Yes, I am the folks.
Folk.
Yes.
Folk, yes.
Folk, yeah. Actually, no, okay. Sorry.
I love this. It's okay. We got the timer.
No, yeah, but we don't got the time.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's true. We don't got the time. Got the timer, but not the time. All right. Anyway. I was just trying to do my best Eddie Murphy impression.
Who are you?
I was trying to do my best Eddie Murphy impression.
Are you?
Who? What's that from?
Who are you? I'm Brittany.
Oh, I'm Danielle. I was thinking, are you impersonating somebody?
No, I was just trying to be very aggressive.
You were. Who are you? I'm like, I don't know.
And who are we?
Well, we're books as bad as Twilight. That's what that's from. That video that I showed you and Tatiana about that kid. What's the kazoo video? Oh. Where he's like, who are you? That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm not going crazy, folks.
We're gonna have it fun.
Oh, God. That video is intense. But you know what? What's better, that or Bespo?
I'm gonna say Kazoo Kid.
Me too. Yeah, I was thinking the same 100%
thing. 100% Kazoo Kid.
Because that's just laugh out. Bespo's laugh out loud, but not the same.
Yeah, but Kazoo Kid's demonic.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, for some reason, he has really sharp teeth, and I think it's still his baby teeth.
Right.
So
anyway, folks, we're sidetracked today, but it's all good because it's going to be a fun podcast episode. We're discussing chapters 9 and 10 of Elixir by Hilary Duff and Elise Allen, whose name is not on the cover for some odd reason. So, Elise, we apologize. Why were you not credited?
I don't think she wanted to. Let's be honest here.
I mean, look, honesty is the best policy. Here at Books as Bad as Twilight, we believe that. And so, Elise, it's your prerogative.
Elise, I don't blame you for hiding.
Yeah. Why? She's like, this is my best work.
Oh, no. Don't say that.
No. All right. So, yes, hello, everyone. We're discussing... I was about to say Books as Bad as Twilight. We're discussing Elixir and, again, chapters 9 and 10. But before we begin, we're going just to remind all you folks that our podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. With Audible, you can follow a special link because Audible is sponsoring our episode today. The link is audibletrial.com/BaBaT. And there, when you go to that link, you can get a free 30-day trial to Audible and a free audiobook of your choice. There's over 180,000 titles to choose from. So, you're in good company. Tons to choose from on Audible. You're not going to be wanting for I can't find a book. You'll find a book.
Yeah.
You looked perplexed for a second.
I was trying to figure out if this is in euros or Great British pounds, this symbol. I think it's euro.
Oh, I actually don't know. That's
remember.
A good question. Yeah,
I work with it every damn day.
Mine doesn't have that. So, oh wait, yes,
yours is in USD.
Yeah,
or Canadian.
Yeah,
the great Canadian dollar.
Great Canadian dollar. Hey, okay, I don't know why I just did that. Anyway,
she saluted.
Yeah,
to no one.
I'm so good at what I do. So anyway, that again, audibletrial.com/BaBaT for your free 30-day trial. I'm not good at this, and I know, but I was trying to. That's the thing. I wanted to keep going with it. Audibletrial.com/BaBaT.
We had too much coffee.
Trial.
I'm not drunk this episode. Surprise, surprise.
Brittany, it's so funny how and it's funny I never noticed it, but on our episodes where you get drunk, they're just the best episodes because you can tell we're just going down a rabbit hole and
as I progressively
and how you talk is different. That is so funny. Like, when I listened to our intro, I was like, that is hilarious.
Because we recorded the intro at the end of the night,
which
when I was already a bottle of wine in by myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not a huge drinker, so, like, I had a few sips, and Brittany's like, come on now.
I'm chugging straight from the thing.
By the way, I love your leggings. Oh, my God. I just noticed. They're amazing.
They're little elephants.
They're beautiful.
All right, chapter 9.
Chapter 9, folks. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's recap what happened. So they are in the cabin in the woods, in Costa Rica, wherever they are, and Clea just saw all these portraits of her dream selves murdered in like a private studio of Sage's, and on the wall there are 6 snails, 7, 5.
5, because there's 4 past lives, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think it's 5.
So there's however many there are.
Yeah, however many.
There's each of them hold a necklace with a iris pendant on, and the last nail is empty. Yes. Is he a serial killer traveling through time to murder all of hers? Is the elixir of life real?
And where is her father?
Where is it? No one knows, and no one cares.
No one cares.
As we find out in this chapter.
Yeah. Well, at first she says she cares, but does she really? That is the question, because it does say like that she has to focus and remember that she wants to save her father, but like... But
you just have to focus and remember that you have to save your father. Shouldn't, like, that always be in the front?
Well, not only that, but like you just found out like that she thinks that this guy is a murderer.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have to think about your father, but like that's the first, like, you don't want to get out of there. Like that never crosses. Like, it's just weird that she's like, oh yeah, my father, I have to remember it. Like, it's just weird that like it's either one way or the other. It's not, well, I'm terrified still. Because after that point, when she was reminded of her father, she's kind of like, all right.
Well, I'll put up with this maniac, this person who I think is a maniac. So.
I mean, good. She always says that she's not a good actress, but, you know, she must be a great actress, because I couldn't do that. She outright says it.
No. Sage says it.
Oh, well, that's true.
She's
that's
pretending
true.
to sleep and goes, you're not a very good actress.
Well, because she keeps opening her eyes and closing them. That we didn't really talk about that, but that is hilarious. Last episode.
I also think it's very funny because she was an actress in a previous life.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, that's why I keep saying it, I guess. Oh.
So she passed out after seeing all these gory images. Mm-hmm. And
well, she was throwing up.
She passed out too.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
I think so. I think she passed out.
I don't know, because I just remember she was throwing up, and she went to the bathroom to throw up.
Oh, okay.
But I know she does pass out at some point, but I don't know.
I'd probably think of another time. Anyway, so Ben comes to the rescue.
Yeah, Ben, this is interesting because he asks her if she's okay after Sage asks.
Was I okay?
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea. Was I going crazy? Maybe if I could tell Ben what I had seen, he could help me put things together in a way that made sense.
Oh, God.
This was all far more his... Oh, wow, shit. This was all far more his thing than mine. That is a difficult sentence.
It is a difficult... Well, yeah. And it's funny because when he actually does come to her, he's asking if she's okay. Assuming because... There's only 3 of them there. So if Sage went down the hall, Ben had to know that he went down the hall, and he had to hear him say, Clea, are you okay?
And then Sage came back, and then Ben comes.
And it's weird because he doesn't, he's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And then she walks out, and there's no, are you, why did you throw up? Is something wrong? Are you sick? Nothing.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Well, he probably just doesn't want to push, because...
I guess, but if somebody was throwing up, I'd be like...
Well, he probably doesn't know she was throwing up. Maybe Sage just came back and didn't tell him.
I guess, yeah.
But anyways, he jumps right into this, did you see that Sage has an original Michelangelo and whatever's and an original printing of this and that and all these other things?
Yeah.
Wow, he must have spent a fortune on eBay.
Right, yeah.
Who buys that stuff off of eBay? Does that actually work? Do they sell priceless things on eBay versus going to art auctions?
I mean, I would say maybe. I mean, I think it's crazy, but eBay.
Go on eBay.
Yeah, let's see.
I think it's kind of just like dating itself saying eBay.
It is, because eBay is just so
When's the last
not
time
relevant.
you used eBay?
Last time I used eBay, like maybe a year. I used it a year ago just because I was looking. Don't laugh at me, but I sold my PS2. I sold my PS2 and I'm kind of regretting it because I had Guitar Hero. So I went to buy a new guitar for my Xbox 360, and of course it didn't work. But I got that from eBay. Not to say anything against eBay, I just think the controller, the Bluetooth stuff wasn't really working. So it might have been fine. I don't know. But anyway.
I don't even know what to look up in eBay to find like original printings.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, eBay, I find when I go on there, is actually selling products now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the same like it used to be.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
so, anyway. They're talking about all this and, like, being sarcastic. And Sage comes around the corner and Clea screams looking up at him because he's brandishing a knife. So brandishing a knife, doesn't that mean like waving it around?
I mean, you don't do that when you're cutting up a turkey?
Yeah, okay, he's cutting up a turkey. No, he's not even cutting up turkey.
Well, not at that point, yeah.
Carving a turkey. Yeah. He has a full-fledged turkey.
Yeah.
Like, has anyone made a turkey? It takes hours to make a turkey. Like, I did a trial run once with a small turkey. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Thanksgiving was around the corner and, like, Kevin's job gave him a free turkey. So nice. I was like, I'm going to do a trial run because I'm going to butcher a turkey. Like, I want to know how I'm, like, fucking up.
Right.
So I made this turkey. First of all, it has to defrost for days.
Yeah.
Fucking days. And then that's if you get one frozen. If you get one fresh, you have to cook it right away because then it's going to go bad.
Right.
And it takes hours to bake.
Right.
And do everything. And then you take it out, you have to let it rest, and then you carve it, and then, like, you have your dinner. And that's a lot of fucking meat on a turkey. And then he was like, oh, I just heated up some turkey, like, brandishing this knife. Why does he have a full fucking turkey? He lives by himself in the goddamn woods.
He's a hungry man.
But, like...
He's had 500 years to figure out the secret. I mean, we just don't know, Brittany.
He knew that he could have company.
Yep. Well,
you can't even eat all that turkey by himself, though.
Well,
that's so much. Okay, if you eat a full-fledged turkey, tell us.
Yeah, we want to know your story.
Like, I'm offended by what Brittany said because I eat a full turkey.
Can you imagine?
Every week. That's just what I make every week is a turkey.
It's my favorite food. That's all I eat. No, but God. It just made me laugh too when she sees him with a knife. Like, it just felt like I was watching something on, like, ABC Family, like Pretty Little Liars. Like, I can just imagine the jump scare and, like...
Turkey is such a weird thing. I'm sorry. Look, I can't stop.
It is weird.
He could be cutting up literally bread.
Well, exactly.
He could be cutting up fruit.
There are so many areas in this book.
Steak.
Yeah, yes. We're like... Exactly, like, why
Cheese.
That detail of all, of all the little details to think about, and then to get it wrong, like, I mean, like, who the F cares what he's cutting up? Like, get out of here. Like, if you want to serve something to these people, because maybe they're hungry, which would make sense, cheese, just something simple.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about it. Just said you ate something and leave.
Also, he lives in this cabin in the woods that's supposed to be incredibly inconspicuous. I can't imagine the kitchen's very large because he doesn't.
Right.
He's not home all the time. He's running around gallivanting for whatever reason.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really like caught up on this fucking turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, she comes out and he goes, maybe we should take you to a doctor.
Right. That bothered me because I was like, wait.
Did it bother you for the same reason?
I think so.
Go ahead, say it then.
Well, I'm just thinking like you don't want to go to the police. You want to be inconspicuous.
Yes.
But then you're saying let's take you Sage.
That was the same thing that I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, let's get her in a hospital where they need your identification.
Right.
And like your medical history in a foreign country.
Right. I was like, okay, like, and whatever. It's just like this. Let me just, and I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I feel like this book at this point goes down a downward spiral because it's the end game, basically.
Oh, also, this is at night? I thought we were in the
So
afternoon.
I was confused by that too. Time gets very confusing.
Excuse me.
And unfortunately, I mean, I think it is at night.
It says moonlit trek to the garage.
Right. So
That's weird.
yeah, this part of the book is very confusing with time.
I don't know where we're going, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I forget, so it's all good because
You said we talked about this before, but I feel that this book, and then I interrupted.
Oh, I don't know. It's fine. So then she says that she wants to call Raina because she wants to tell her what's going on.
So she's having, before we get to that part, she's having an internal battle with whether or not she should believe this guy and the elixir of life. Again, this is like the 8th time she's had this battle.
Right, I forgot about this.
But don't worry about it. They're buying one-way tickets from Rio to New York and traveling without any luggage.
Oh, right.
Under assumed names of Larry Shinowski? Stevensky?
I have no idea.
Who the fuck cares? Something Polish. And I could say that because I'm Polish.
Yeah, me too. Up top, yeah.
I'm a fucking mutt.
Me too.
So they're traveling under fake names, first class tickets on his black AMX card from Rio to New York City with no luggage. Now, obviously, this is pre 9/11. No, it's not.
Is it though? I don't think it is.
It isn't. That was 2001.
Right.
And this is written in
2010. Like, I mean, it never really says, but I'm assuming it takes place present day. So.
Oh shit. Well, that they wouldn't be allowed on at all.
Well, that's another thing.
They have no IDs.
Exactly. Like, it makes no sense. But anyway, whatever. But yeah. So yeah, you're right. She's having this like internal battle with herself. Like she seems to be able, because she does talk about have Sage and I been reincarnated again and again over the centuries. So she's able to accept that in her head, but she's not able to accept the fact that the elixir could possibly be real.
I know, especially when they already said about small doses heal wounds,
right?
And the scratches were gone.
Right, exactly. Come on, girl. Like, that's it's just the motivations are very weird.
Oh, but let's lay low. But call my best friend to pick us up at JFK, and I could just fucking duck in the car.
Well, right. And then she, like, when they get there, she, like, screams her name, and I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. Like, what don't you get about inconspicuous?
Also, she is, like, when she calls her, she's like, I can't tell you everything. Just know that Ben and I are in danger.
Right.
And, like, we need you to come pick us up on Friday at this time when our plane lands. She's a high school student.
Which is easy to forget, but yes.
Yeah. Like, Raina, or whatever her name is. I keep forgetting. Raina,
I think.
Raina.
Yeah.
Like, she went back to school after their fall break or whatever, or summer break, whatever. So she's in her senior year. She's got responsibilities.
Right.
She's picking a college. She's, like, doing all this stuff. If she's going to college, I don't know. No judgment.
Yeah, of course,
life.
yeah.
But, like, all we get from her character is that she's going to follow Clea to the ends of the earth. That's all we get from her character.
Because this book is so... It's kind of like, remember in the beginning when I talked about Clea's photojournalism career and how, like, Ben and Raina dropped everything to help her make this fake identification and stuff so people wouldn't
answer her emails.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but my friends have lives.
Like, they do.
I mean...
Everyone has a life.
Yeah, like...
But there's no depth to these characters.
Right, exactly. There's
puddles.
Right, exactly. They're only... The story has an agenda, which every story does, don't get me wrong, but the story has a very specific agenda that nothing really works, so it just tries to do things anyway, and it's kind of...
Well, okay, so I'm going to bring up... I was listening to Writing Sessions, like one of my favorite writing podcasts.
Yes.
Have you listened to any of it yet?
I've added. I haven't listened yet, but it's added to my...
You would like it a lot, because they... But I was listening to this one episode that they were talking about side characters. And how Brandon Sanderson has an insane amount of characters in his books. Because he writes epic fantasies. And his one book, I think he had 2,400 characters.
Oh my God.
With names.
Holy shit.
They weren't just randos. They had names.
Wow. Oh my God.
He's very... I don't know how he does it. He has two continuity editors.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway, so they were talking about side characters and how, like, you don't want your side character to be too developed, that they're more interesting than the main, but not shallow.
Yes.
And they brought up J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah.
Rowling.
Rolling, but yeah.
Ugh, fuck me. So they brought up her, and she has a lot of side characters. Each of them are individual, have their own little tropes, except Crab and Goyle, because they're meant to be a unit. Like, they're meant to be interchangeable. And he brought up Seamus. Seamus, he's probably in, 5 scenes the entire series?
Right.
And you know that, but he has so much depth.
Right.
He always explodes. His potions always explode. Mm-hmm. He is a turbulent character because he blames Harry but comes back to him. Mm-hmm. And he's a loyalist. Mm-hmm. Like, he's loyal to his team. He's loyal to the cause. He's loyal to Gryffindor House. You know, you only see him about 5 times. Yeah. But you know who Seamus is.
Right.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, that's very true.
He has a lot of depth to him. Like, he's like, well, my mother says this about the newspaper at the time. You know, when they're all calling Harry a liar.
You know, that's a really good point, because I remember that changed. Again, like, at the time, like, I was very interested in, like, well, I mean, I was younger, so books at my age level. Reading Harry Potter was interesting because, unlike most of the books published for my age, or our age, it actually took characters and gave them individual responses to things. Yes. So, like, the 5th book was the most powerful book for me growing up. When Seamus...
right?
Yeah. And it's still one of my favorite Harry Potter books because of how much it affected how I read books in general. And when Seamus just outright went against Harry, that really affected me. I was like, wow, like, you would just think, like, in a typical hero's journey book, like, it's just natural that the good guys are the good guys and the bad guys are the bad guys. Yep. But suddenly there's a gray area. People have to really think about the choices they make. And so it's interesting, like, side characters can do that. And it's interesting that you give them like, it helps fuel the story. Like, you can use side characters. Like, so I'm doing NaNoWriMo this year, so I've been outlining.
Oh, shit. I want to do that too. I want to do it too. I keep forgetting about it. It's coming up in 2 weeks.
We could talk about it after this, but if we have time. But so I've been, like, outlining my book. And it's funny because, like, as I'm outlining it, and I'm kind of thinking, like, dealing with side characters, as I'm outlining and going through it, I'm like, oh, so while this side character is going through this, it helps fuel the actual plot. So even though it's not her plot, she's fueling part of the main character's plot, and it fits together. So their stories can be told. It's just that, like, one, like, so they're individuals, and it's like, it's not like I thought about it beforehand. It's just, it came to be, and I was like, that is awesome. Like, when that happens, like, so this is like a tangent, but I
know it's important because then we have characters like, honestly, Ben as well.
Yeah.
Ben and Renee, like, Raina, they don't have much depth to them. And
it's a shame because Ben is a pretty standard character, but by the end of the book, maybe, I'll save that for when we get to it, so never mind. But I agree.
So they call Raina, and they ask her to pick up at JFK from Connecticut. So I Googled that to see how far away it is. In a straight line, it's over 90 miles. Yeah. So, like... Also, it's, like, on a Friday. So she has to leave on, like, a school night to go, to get these people. I don't know what time on Friday they're landing, but...
Well, don't forget, they teach Sage... Well, they don't teach Sage, but they bring out a cribbage board.
And Sage is like, I already know how to play this.
I know how to play. Then him and Ben play to prove their masculinity and who should win Raina, as one does. Mm-hmm. And then... Ben starts, like, testing him on European history.
Yeah, this is such a weird exchange.
This was so dumb because they're
on the plane, by the way.
Yes.
Flying.
So Clea says that she's like, knows that Ben's going to try to expose him by, like, messing. So, like, kind of making, like, asking a question, but it's like a trick question to see if Sage gets it. So his question to see if Sage knows European history is... So which of Shakespeare's plays do you think was better served by the Globe Theatre? Henry the Eighth or, I don't know, Trelawney and Cressida? Ben asks, cracking his knuckles. And then Sage says, I apologize, I'm mispronouncing this. Troilus and Cressida was never performed at the Globe. As for Henry VIII, the original Globe caught fire during the show, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, if somebody knew Shakespeare, of course they're going to say, and if they don't, he would just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
who has a mastery of what played at the Globe Theater?
Right, exactly. Unless
you're a theater history major.
And that would make sense, but like it's convenience.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I read that and I was like, really? That's how you're trying to slip him up?
The like, you know, which was handled a similar scene, but handled a lot better.
Okay.
The Shakespearean rap battle between Belle and that actor. That was handled so much better than
God.
This.
I want to read that book again so hardcore.
But am I wrong?
No.
It was great.
Oh my God.
Like, they said 2 lines, and then they had their emotion. They talk about their sweat beading on their brow, how like each of them were coming back at each other like more aggressive than the other until the other one tripped up. Instead of just like this melancholy like, if you're such a historian, what do you think was... And also, that's a matter of opinion.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You've never been and saw either of those plays in the Globe Theater, so how are either of them going to know which one was performed better at the Globe Theater?
Right, exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly. And that's why it's like so, it's like kind of one of those things where like an author tries to like write a riddle and it's like, oh, such an intense riddle. And it's like, that was stupid.
It's
like,
a light. You light the, it's like, you light the match first. You know, in a dark room, you have a lantern, you have a hearth, and you have something. You can only light one. Which one do you light first? The match.
Right.
You know, like.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just, oh my God. This
so bad.
Yeah, this book is just, and the thing is, and I told you this already off mic, but like I feel like this, which I'm calling end game of the book, is like so ridiculous, much more so than the opening of the book, that like I am enjoying how absurd it is. Like I read this morning and I was like, oh my God, like I don't even know what to make of any of this because it's so.
Oh, we didn't even get into the weirdest part of this
book.
Oh
my God.
Yet.
That's not even, I think that's next episode too.
Next episode.
Oh, I'm so excited. But anyway.
So they land at JFK and like you said, what is 2 hours?
Well, that's why I said
Does it only take 2 hours to get from
No.
Go
this
ahead.
is my note.
All right.
Can you read it?
Do you have a fake ID? If so, why so many?
What did I read?
Why so easy?
Why so easy to get in the plane?
Yeah.
If so recognizable. If people recognize her.
Yes. Well, she doesn't have a fake ID.
Well, that's, yeah, exactly.
She and Ben don't have fake
I just
IDs.
assumed she did, but then I didn't realize until you said so, and you're right. I don't know why I assumed that.
Only Sage has a fake ID.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense. Why does Sage need a fake ID?
Right. Not sure.
I don't know either.
I guess because he...
Do you think his name gets flagged in the system? Because of the organizations?
I would not... Is it a government organization? I would assume not, but maybe it's really undercover government stuff.
Yeah, but if it was really undercover... Okay, there's...
yeah.
There's no... I read ahead. There's no answer to that.
Right, no.
So I'm not even going to entertain that thought.
I mean, you had to know that, listeners. Come on. Like, did you think there was going to be an answer? Like, there's not even 100 pages left, I don't think. Yeah, no. Wait, actually, there are a little over 100. Just kidding.
So Rena... like runs through into baggage claim going Clea and throwing herself in her arms. It wasn't exactly inconspicuous, but I didn't care. And this is where the book makes fun of itself, and I love it.
Okay.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
I remember in like the first like 2 episodes I called out like when it makes fun of itself.
Yes.
This is another one.
Okay.
But on the phone call, she told Raina, she's like, oh, I did meet someone. You met him literally 24 hours ago.
Right.
Like, and you're already passionately in love.
Well, I love, too, when Raina, when she asks who Sage is, Ben says to Clea, they'd make a cute couple, Ben said, nodding to Sage and Raina, don't you think? And I'm like, wow, like, you're so subtle, Ben. like, I don't know what you're trying to do at all.
Raina herself was wearing a lacy push-up camisole.
Yeah. It's...
What?
I'm confused because I thought she gives her coat saying she's freezing. I mean, it's freezing outside. But then she herself...
Well, because she wants to show off her boobs.
Right.
To Sage.
Yeah.
So, like, it's...
I get it, but...
It's not slut-shaming because she didn't shame her.
Yeah.
But it's making Raina an object. And I didn't like that.
I agree. It's very... It just felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like... The way it was written was just kind of strange to me. Because I couldn't tell what it was going for. Because like you said, she's trying to show off her boobs. Because when I first read it, my first thought was like, what I just said. Wait... You just said it's freezing outside. Why is she wearing that? Yeah. But then I was like, oh, okay.
This is how she normally dresses. You know, she usually dresses for attention.
Yeah.
And they said that earlier when they're in France when she looked like a goddess on fire with her fire. I keep forgetting that she has like bright red hair and all that type of stuff. Oh, shit. We're past our...
You know what? I'll just do another 15 minutes.
Yeah, do another 15 because we were gabbing for about 15 minutes. So she gets there. Ben, like you said, wasn't very subtle.
Oh, they tell... Raina says about the... she says how the Secret Service are at their house because her mom made kind of an impromptu foreign affairs meeting at their house.
A party.
Which apparently her mom's famous for. Doing, things at the last second. Getting all these people together with their busy schedules. So they're happy about that because, that means their house is checked out. Nobody's there that they won't want to be there. So,
but before that, we got to see a conversation between Raina and Clea.
Okay,
In the car, I slipped in the front seat beside Raina. With only her eyes, she asked me if Sage was mine. With a scratch of my nose and a shrug, I explained that it was complicated. She nodded. She understood, then gave an eye roll that clearly said I was insane if I did anything but jump at the chance to be with him. The whole conversation took about a second. Like...
I get it, but like it's so dumb. But I
didn't like it.
I didn't like it at all. Like again, I get it's trying to show their friendship, but but what? Like it's just like a secret language type of thing.
Nantucket. That's where they're from.
Nantucket.
Yeah, it took 2.5 hour drive back to Nantucket. And
wait, that does not Niantic.
Niantic. Oh, I'm sorry, not Nantucket.
That made me crack because I was like Nantucket. I was like, wait, I totally.
Where is Nantucket?
I have no idea, but I kind of want to go there. I've always wanted to go to Nantucket.
Fun name.
Yeah. Whatever Niantic is.
Niantic.
I mean, I don't know why I'm laughing because, like, it's probably a real town.
Yeah, I lived in a town called McAdoo, so.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's amazing. McAdoo.
Or the Macadamians.
Macadonians.
Not macadamia.
It makes me think of mac and cheese, and I just really want mac and cheese right now.
I think of nuts.
That's true, macadamia. Macadamia nuts.
So they drive back, and on their way back, Clea is explaining everything to Raina.
Right.
And then she explains how it's perfect. Your mom had the party.
Yes.
So everyone is there.
Yes. This is...
This is such a weird part.
Okay. So they get to the house, and the Secret Service checks Sage over, and they say he's good. Mm-hmm. But then he lets Raina and Clea in first, and then
No, other way. He walks in first.
Oh.
The man walked in before.
Well, no, because it says...
Oh, no. Yeah. I walked in first.
Because that triggers the Piri alarm.
Yeah.
Which...
It's just...
That was amazing. I'm so glad you just did that, because I needed that in my life.
You go, aye.
I didn't... Oh, you're so much better than mine. That was
also,
amazing.
Like, I feel like it's so culturally unsensitive to this, like,
I agree.
Woman.
It's so weird. Like, I looked and I was like, my note, this is my note. Like, oh my God.
OMG.
Like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah, so Piri's all upset because, the man didn't walk in first.
Which is, I guess, some kind of superstition.
Well, and then it's interesting because then Ben makes a note to him. He says, a real European scholar would be up on old school superstitions. And it's like, at first I was like, wait, is she European? But then I remembered she's from Hungary.
That's right.
Which I forgot. So, which makes sense, but still, like, Europe's a pretty big country. Like, I mean, continent.
Yeah.
Continent.
There's a lot of countries within.
Yeah, like
why would you know all the folklore to all of them?
Yeah, come on,
and I'm sure Ben didn't know everything before when he first got there.
Ben, don't be an ass. You grew up with Peary.
Yeah. But she goes into the Hungarian food that she made for the party, and they all sound so delicious.
They do.
And I love that each of them are italicized, so I could go Google them later.
Nice.
And it's also a lot of bread.
Palinka.
So we have bread puffs with garlic, sour cream, and cheese. Biscuits. Cheese spread with Hungarian paprika. And meatballs.
Yes, yummy. And meatballs.
It's a very carb-heavy
yes.
dinner you got there.
Well, then she finds her mom. Peary. She finds her mom, and her mom's telling this hilarious story.
Oh, my God.
I literally read this, and I'm like, I can't, you can't make this up. Like, it says, okay, so I turn around and his shirt is off, she exclaimed. I mean, I can't even read it. I mean, even the horse is flabbergasted, but the press is eating it up, snapping picture after picture. Then he pounds on his chest and cries, "Vigorous torso, the people call me." Or, sorry, I read that wrong. "Vigorous torso, the people call me. Vigorous torso." Then he challenges me to a wrestling match. Everyone laughed, and she rolled her eyes dramatically. Then Senator Blaine from Delaware, my mom's best friend in the committee, gave her the setup she awaited. "Did you do it?" "Oh, hell yes. I took him down in 10 seconds.
Bull fucking shit.
Like, I know it's supposed to be bullshit, but, like, it's so absurd. Like,
yeah. So, like, you're right. You and some other foreign diplomat are riding, I'm imagining, on a beach versus, like, in the woods. But you're riding on the beach on horseback, and the press is oddly everywhere.
Right, yeah.
And snapping pictures of you. And this guy just rips off his shirt and lets it, like, fly into the breeze, into the tides.
Yeah.
This is how I'm imagining it. It's also sunset.
Right, of course. It has to be.
So they're just rolling around on the beach.
Yeah.
And they have to be in their 40s.
I know.
They have to be in their 40s.
Look, it's absurd. And then we get, so Clea goes over to her mom because her mom sees her. So she comes over.
Oh, after they haven't seen each other in, like, 2 months.
Right.
Well, like, actually seen. They see each other in passing, but they haven't actually had a conversation.
Right, yes.
In a long time. Like, just those brief telephone conversations when she, like, her mom was at a party.
Right,
and
yeah.
she was flying. And then when she landed, and her mom's like, "I really don't feel good about this." "Whatever, Mom, I got this."
Yeah,
so now she's seeing her daughter.
Right. Which we'll bring up later when another plot happens. Ugh. But, or piece of the plot happens. But so, Clea's worried because Sage is there. And she's like, "Oh, my mom's going to think he's my boyfriend. And she's going to have to quiz him in front of everybody." So then Raina, being the best friend that she is, steps in because she knows Clea's personality before, or better than anyone else. And she says, "Oh, yeah, he's my new boyfriend." Mm-hmm. So Ben and Clea go upstairs while...
Okay, hold on. Ben and Clea go upstairs, have no interaction with her own fucking mom.
Yes!
Her own mother.
You know what?
But then this more ridiculous thing happens.
Oh, please.
No. You were saying it. Go on.
No, are you sure?
I'll give you the honor.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I am honored. So let me see if I can find the part. Okay, here it is. So this one, Raina introduces Sage as Larry, whatever the last name is. And it says, so the mom's excited. She's like, "Really?" Mom said meaningfully. "Then we should talk." She turned to the group and asked, "Gentlemen?" Without hesitation, all the senators and their Israeli minister agreed that the next topic of their agenda should clearly be a debate of Sage's merits and pitfalls as a partner to Raina.
Because they all know Raina.
Yeah.
All of these foreign diplomats know Raina.
She's important.
Yeah, the best friend of the daughter of the United States foreign representative.
And it says, as Mom took Sage and Raina's hands and led them to the couch, 2 senators gladly moved aside to give them space. And it says, never mind. I thought they asked a question. No, never mind.
Yeah, down here. Sage, what if any personal views about women do you have that might interfere with your obligations to treat Raina with the respect that she deserves?
Oh, that's right, yeah. What?
God damn it.
I know. I read that and I'm like, wait, this, because at first I thought like the mom was doing it and that they were moving aside to talk with her, but then I was like, oh wait, this is a group thing. Like they've done this before.
Like Cleo's like, Ben and I will be back in a bit. We have some Alyssa Grande stuff to do, like her like professional photography stuff to do.
Yeah.
And Mom's like, don't take long. We're flying back to Washington in a couple of hours, and I want to see you before I go. But then you interrogate Raina and her new boyfriend.
It's absurd.
It's just so weird. So they go up to their study, and they rehash all the information that they we knew about before. And they spend 2 hours up there researching like all of these docs, and they give really weird document names.
Yes.
Because Cleo remembers Sage saying something about the Dark Lady. So she's looking at all of these like prompts, and like she's typing things in, and then she remembers, oh, Shakespeare. Dad was obsessed with Shakespeare before he went away. And they find a file, and it's password protected, and blah blah blah. And then she thinks, oh, you know what, the watch, and then like, okay, so this is what I mean by before. Yeah, like Dad can't remember the password to this protected file this protected document, but he will remember to look on his watch for the password.
I was gonna say, it's very like, this is a trope that we see a lot, I feel like, in kind of like mystery things, like where one thing kind of leads to the other. It's like, oh, Shakespeare, let's go to this file, Lady Elixir, like, oh, but it needs a password. Oh, of course, his watch, that's the most important. Like these threads that like, it's like, oh, I guess they've been introduced, but like make little sense.
And I always thought there are scratches on the bottom of the watch. It turns out it says faith, valor, wisdom. Right. Which is incredibly long to scratch yourself without the proper tools. Yeah. Into like the back of a watch. How big is this fucking watch?
When I read that, I was like, wait, that is really long. Okay, whatever. But yeah.
So they open all these things, and at the bottom of the document, Dad had written, Eureka, current, Magda, Alessandri, Cleo's room, 121. What?
Yeah, right. And I don't even remember, what was that again? Because they go to Cleo's room.
Yeah.
Or Cleo, sorry.
Cleo. And they're like, oh, did he hide it somewhere? Like, what else is going on? So she boots up her computer and looks all through her stuff, and they find nothing. And they're desperate. And Cleo's mom is like yelling her to come downstairs because they're breaking out.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah. And they're gonna like get going. The Secret Service was about to leave with her father, and then Ben is like, cribbage! The final score in cribbage is 121.
Oh, right.
Eureka! So then they go over to the cribbage board that she always has on her wall.
Right.
And they find like inside the pay compartment 2 numbers were engraved on top of each other. The bottom one began with the minus sign, including decimal points, and underneath written little door. And they're like, what is this, an equation? No, it's coordinates. And she automatically knows that these coordinates are to a mall in Tokyo.
Right. Well, because Sage looks it up, and it's like, oh, that's where it is? Okay. And apparently, is this where they realize that the little door is a shop at the mall?
Maybe. Well, okay, so first they're leaving. Like, everyone's leaving. Oh, she gives a brief goodbye to her mom.
Who she does not tell that because at this point she's like, I guess they found out afterward, but she never thinks to herself, oh, I should probably tell my mom that I'm going to Japan. Yeah. But I guess she never, whatever.
And apparently Sage and Raina are going to get married in 4 years. I think your mother just arranged peace in the Middle East while brokering a marriage deal for Raina and me. How many kids are you having? 4. But we can't start until she's 26, 3 years after the wedding. Oh, and we're honeymooning at the minister's beach house in Tel Aviv. I am
of course
so frustrated. Yeah. Because, okay, I wish to God that this is what happens when foreign diplomats get together, because it is fucking hilarious. like just knowing each other's okay, first of all, it's probably always an orgy. If you're a foreign diplomat, let us know if it's just a constant orgy. But like, I just imagine like it's so weird. It's so weird.
It is weird.
It's so weird.
It is very weird. And when they actually leave, we get more about, like, apparently Piri is still mad at Sage about him not walking in first.
Yes.
So she put a lot of garlic on his food. And the mom says that they still have...
Even maybe in his cookies.
Yes. And she says, oh, well, they... you didn't even get any Piri's desserts. So she says, so when I first read this, and I did it again reading it now, I misread it because she says, you didn't even get any of Piri's desserts. She made Hungarian butter horns with apricots. I first read it and I thought it said butt horns. And I was like, what?
I love Hungarian butt horns.
And then, like, it was just like for a second, but just that second was enough because you were talking and I read it and I was like, oh my God.
You know those... like unicorn horns that people have that they strap around your head. I just imagine someone taking 2 of them and putting them on their ass. I'm a Hungarian butt horn. Yeah. It also sounds like a Harry Potter.
It does.
Mythical creature.
It so does. That would probably be something they sell at like the sex shop in Harry Potter. Oh my God. That's like their vibrator.
Oh my God. No, butt plug.
Oh, okay. Yeah, much better. Yeah. Oh God.
It's like those butt plugs with the tails that are attached to them.
There you go.
It's just going to have another horn.
Well, you know, Clea, she's into it.
Ow, that's going to be so painful. It's for the people that want to be unicorns in real life, for the furries.
Oh my God. We have just created a fan fiction, my friend.
You can write that. I am not touching
I'm not.
it.
By the way, well, I'll tell you later. Never mind. Anyway, well, it's something completely different.
I know. So Mom is like, I have a big recess in April. Maybe we'll hang out then for a whole week. Just the 2 of us.
A whole week. Damn.
She spends more time with Raina in Europe than she will with her mother.
Yep. Well, you know how it goes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So they climb into Raina's car.
And she's like, where am I driving?
Yeah. And that's when Ben goes back to get some butter horns. And we got some real sexual tension going on here. I love it when he's like, so they're not supposed to go back in because according to Piri, once you start to leave the house, you can't come back. So
Correct.
I'm thinking, what if you start to leave, but like,
forget
like
something?
you're not, or like if you're just not leaving, what if you exit the house to say goodbye to someone and come back in? Like, is that okay? Come on now. But, so she's like, well, did you condemn yourself to bad luck just to get them from me? And then, or she says something like that. I just read that wrong, but we're not going to go back. And Ben says, they better be worth it. And she's like, completely worth it. I said with my mouth full. The rest of you. The other sentence isn't as sexy as I thought it would be. So anyway.
There was no sexual tension at all.
I just thought it was funny.
Hold on. No, I'm going to read this out loud now. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Butterhorn, Ben asked, holding out a bag full of pastries. Well, you did just condemn yourself to bad luck just to get them from me. So, absolutely. Yeah, Ben agreed. They better be worth it. Completely worth it, I said with my mouth full. The rest of you have to try some of these. Sage mused.
So sexy.
No garlic. I'm not entirely sure my taste buds will know how to handle this. You guys, where am I going? Says Raina.
That was a beautiful reading.
That was the sexiest conversation.
It was sexy. Look, I'm writing. I don't know if I told you, but I'm writing a paper. What's it called? I forget. Like for my my master's degree. I'm writing it on this book about the sexual tension in this very part of the book.
Your sarcasm is so bad.
Anyway.
I was like, so when did you start going back to school? I was like, I didn't even know you were working on your master's thesis.
Well, you know what? That's it. That's the word, thesis. I couldn't think of it. So there you go.
I'm sweating. I'm laughing so hard.
All right, we're almost done this chapter, Brittany.
Right, Jesus Christ. Okay.
We can do it. All right, so
they punch in the coordinates and they find out that
it's Shibuya.
Shibuya 109 in Tokyo. Shibuya, says Reina. The mall?
What?
Of course, the hooker of the group knows where the mall is.
Oh, God. They decide to go... Is this where they decide that they're going to stay at a hotel?
So they look it up on her phone because Clea's like, yeah, Shibuya 109 was indeed a mall. But it couldn't be right. Could it? Then I had an idea. And then she looked it up and found out that there was a store there called The Little Door.
That's right, yeah.
Which matched the engraving on the cribbage board.
Which is cool. Don't worry, we're almost done.
So they're like, oh, maybe Magda works there. Magda? Yeah, Magda. The Dark Lord's descendant.
The Dark Lord's does it actually say that?
I'm sorry, the Dark Ladies is...
I was going to say, what?
The Dark Lady, excuse me.
That's hilarious.
So, they're like, okay, so I guess where we're going to Japan. And, so I don't...
But the chapter ends with a happy note, okay? She's eating the butterhorn, and she's like, I just want to savor this one brief blissful moment. And I'm like, is it blissful, though? I mean, yes, you're eating your butterhorn.
Your butterhorn. So, okay, I just got to recap real quick.
Yes.
It's Friday. I'm going to be generous and say it was afternoon when Reina picked them up. Probably around, noon.
Right.
Then they took a 2.5-hour ride back home.
Yeah.
So that's around 2. They spent about 3 hours looking through Dad's study. So now it's around 5:30. Now they're going to take another 2.5-hour drive back to New York City for this hotel room because they have to go to Tokyo.
Right. Mm-hmm. As one does.
They're in the car and it's now I'm going to say 7:30 that they're arriving in New York.
Right.
For the flight the next day. To Tokyo.
And that's being generous, I think.
To go to a mall.
Right. Yeah, and I think you're being generous, too. Because, I mean,
when you're... a long day.
Yeah, it's a long-ass day.
They just spent 7.5 hours in the car. No, wait, no. Where did I get that number? 5 hours in the car.
Well, yeah. So...
Reina spent 7.5 hours.
True, yeah.
Because she went 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 7.5 hours in the car.
Reina's dedicated.
She's a good friend.
She's a great friend, She just drops literally everything. She doesn't have a life of her own. She even says that in this next chapter, she's like, well, I don't need to go to school. I'll just go with you to Japan. It's like... Mm-hmm.
I'll write an educational report on it.
Right. And I'm like, but why are we so lax about this?
Also, it's Friday. She doesn't have school the next day.
True. So she could technically...
What?
I mean, knowing these people, she could technically go.
I think it was I think Clea said, well, I don't know how long we're going to be there.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks, we're moving on to chapter 10.
Chapter 10.
But chapter 9 was pretty long, so this should be a bit short.
Yeah, this one's only about 20 pages.
Only.
But so compared. They go to New York, and fucking Reina is like, we need to get some sleep and we could go shopping and I need some time with Clea. So, you better get to your rooms. Us for the girls, you for the boys. And they have signature cinnamon rolls at the Holiday Inn
Of
Express.
Course. Yeah.
They have amazing cinnamon rolls and I need them. And I'm kind of not joking about your Black AMX Fest. Feast, we're going to go, all out and we're going to have pizza and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Reina. You're such a fucking mooch.
Right.
You're mooching off Clea's... Oh, no, her mom works for him.
But still, yeah.
You're just you're a tag-along. You know what? She's a succubus. She... I know succubus, sucks your soul and they're, devils and stuff like that, but she's an attractive woman who falls in love easily, who attaches herself to individuals, and she just goes along.
She's the
devouring
demon.
Everything.
She's
the villain in this.
Oh my god. We never knew.
Who knew such a shallow individual will have so much depth?
Crazy. Well, what's funny here too is when they get their separate rooms, they get the rooms each have 2 queen beds so they can sleep in their own bed. And then it says, the narrative's like, I cringed imagining Sage and Ben stuck in a room together all night. I couldn't imagine how that would work. And my note was like, wait, did you suddenly forget about the fact that you thought he was like a murderer? Like, wouldn't you be worried for your friend? Not going, oh, that's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Like,
both these guys are attracted to me.
Yeah.
But also, why would it be awkward? As far as she knows.
Right.
Sage has no feelings for her.
Exactly. Like, it's just... Yeah. But that's why this narrative keeps getting flustered with itself, because you're right. But at the same time, it also said that she believes that she possibly was reincarnated with him. So she's loved him in past lives. So it's like... So she just assumes that he knows who she is. But then she knows that he said he didn't. And like... I feel like if you sat down to explain this book to people, you would just immediately like...
So, like, there's this girl whose dad was, like, disappeared, but he was, like, looking for, like, the elixir of life, and, like, this one guy keeps, like, showing up, like, in his dreams, and, like...
I love how you were just saying that, like, so one day.
So, like, this happened, and then, like, I didn't understand, like, why this was connected with this, but, like, it does explain, like, later on that, like...
So I guess that makes sense. Like, it'll come back.
That's how I feel... this book is, though.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah. So they're in the hotel room, just Clea and Raina. And so Clea tells Raina about the dream. Or, well, I thought, but now, hang on. Let me back up.
And she tells him, it's like, oh, did you guys hook up yet?
Right, yeah.
And she's like, no. And she's like, well, what are you waiting for? Well, what would if I told you he might be a serial killer? Would that bother you? Debatable. Explain. I'm like,
yes.
Elaborate, rather. Okay. All Raina cares about is Leo popping her cherry. That's literally all she cares about.
Well, it's important, Brittany.
It's so important for 18-year-olds to have sex. 17. She's 17. And who knows how old Sage is?
Right. Well...
Like, they didn't say he's 20.
But again, this is the interesting thing. They didn't say his age, you're right. Yeah. But also, it's kind of like the Edward Bella thing again. Mm-hmm. You know, he is so much older than her, even though he physically isn't. But, like, mentally speaking, he is.
He's a lot older than her.
It's weird. And so they're talking about how romantic it is, because she basically says that he's your soulmate. Nobody gets this opportunity, Clea. I keep saying it wrong. Yes, it doesn't matter. Same. And so she's like, nobody gets this opportunity. People would kill for this opportunity. So you need to take advantage of it. So
yeah, she flip-flops, too, though. Like,
yeah.
Raina, because Clea is like, okay, I'll give you the connection, but what about the serial killer thing? If they are connected because he tracks those women down, he acts like he loves them and then kills them, kills you. You're them.
Right,
like,
right.
So she's also seeing the other side of it.
Right,
so,
yeah.
like, you're still encouraging her to fuck this million-old, like, dude.
And we have to remember that this is technically speaking a YA book. And it's almost like, in a weird, subtle way, through Raina and Clea's relationship, like, encouraging this, like, sort of dangerous romantic adventure.
Yeah.
Like, that Clea is purposely putting herself in these dangerous situations that are... It's very troubling to me that possibly a young girl would read this and be like... Maybe take from it something that maybe she shouldn't get from it.
Kind of like we were saying before, women usually have a natural inclination to fix.
Yes.
So, like, here is a man that's, like, Ben. There's not a single character flaw in Ben so far.
Right.
We are on page 221, and there's not a character flaw for him except that he's a little envious.
Which, even if you think about it, is...
It's
who wouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, you're in love with this girl.
Yeah.
She's chasing after this other guy, but you're still there with her. And he's not even been friend zoned.
Right.
Because they haven't even had the discussion yet.
Right.
And the friend zone is such a, like, topic in general that I don't really want to get into.
Right, yeah.
But, like, he does not have a character flaw. But who does she fucking go towards? The mysterious man who might be a serial killer, might not be.
But who cares?
Knows? So she's trying to fix something when she has something that's pristine.
Right. And, like, the book...
Yeah.
And the book seems to think, like, it's like it seems to think that this is a good thing. Like, the
Yeah.
narrative's, like, sort of pushing it, like, but she's just drawn toward him. Like, it doesn't seem to take the responsibility or own up to the fact that, like, maybe this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem to have any idea that this is problematic.
There's nothing wrong with trying to help a broken person.
Right.
There's a lot of things wrong with thinking you could fix a broken person by just sacrificing your own happiness and well-being. That is problematic.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't put yourself in the situation where it's dangerous
Yes.
and uncomfortable and weird to fix someone that's broken.
And we're going to get into that next episode, too. Yeah.
And that was, and I mentioned it before, but I'm going to bring it up again because it was like 2 seasons ago. That's what was the problem with the walk up, not walk out movement, when all the kids were walking out during the school shooting, during the school day for 12 minutes. Like, it's an interruption of class, but it was a protest for guns in school. And then there was the counter protest for the walk up to that individual that's hurting, walk up to that person that's sitting alone, walk up to that person that has anger issues and stuff like that. So it's saying put yourself in an uncomfortable situation,
right?
Because that individual might need a friend.
Yeah.
But these people might be bullies.
Right.
Like, it's shown, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of times they're the bullies, the people that are the aggressors.
Yes.
Like, in these situations, yes, they could be bullied, but mostly they are the aggressors. So why would you put yourself in the situation to make yourself uncomfortable, in danger? Everyone has this romantic idea that if you reach out to that person that is potentially a murderer, that they'll remember you.
And they'll get fixed.
Get fixed, but if they do snap, they'll remember you.
Right.
And, like, leave you go.
Which is problematic in itself.
Yeah.
Because
how often has that happened?
Yeah, and it makes me think of, not that this is, so obviously it's not like a murderer story, but like with A Walk to Remember, you know, where the character of Landon, you know, gives up his popularity to be with the not cool girl. Not on the same level, obviously, but it's like, the thing is, like, when you talk about things in this way, like, you're taking out of context these people's lives. Like, if this was an actual thing, like, kids in school, obviously you want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell a kid who's in this social environment that's very pressuring and very damaging in many ways to make these sort of sacrifices that could affect them in terms of, like, mentally. And
you don't know what their home lives are.
Right. And we don't know, like, they make these romantic ideas about these situations, and it's just not real.
No.
And it's troubling to me.
It is. And it is. And I don't know. I know that was a tangent, but, like...
But it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah. In this book, I don't see what the draw of Sage is.
Well, because I think the book just expects us, because this is... Again, like with Twilight, he's a mysterious man, and so it just kind of expects us to be drawn to Sage because that's what happens.
But even in Twilight, we read Twilight at our appropriate age level, like when we were in high school, and we're supposed to be drawn towards Edward.
Yeah.
I still wasn't.
Well, neither was I.
Yeah,
but
I was still Jacob.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing appealing to me about a project.
It's not even, it's projects, it's kind of not even like so much projects, mysterious man you just want to get to know, and you want to...
No, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. like
I don't have to unpeel you. Like, you're not a fucking onion.
Well, that's what...
Well, you are an onion, but everyone's an onion. They have layers.
Yeah.
But, like, don't take your onion and put it in a lockbox.
Right, and
like,
the thing is with, like...
That's a weird analogy,
no, but
you
it's
know
true.
what I mean?
Like, with the Bella and Jacob thing, like, I don't like Twilight, but I honestly, like, if I had to pick a favorite book, and I've said this before, in the whole series, a lot of people disagree. I think it's New Moon. It's the second book.
And that's one of the lore of the...
Yeah, it's with the werewolf stuff.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, because it's with
series.
Jacob. She spends time with him. Their relationship actually builds. get rid of the Edward bullshit that happens in it because
Yep.
it's so dumb and weird. But like, but like the Jacob stuff is
Great.
It's good.
You see his family and you learn about their imprinting process.
Yeah.
And like all this. I liked that.
It's
I
interesting
don't know
lore
if it's
and
a little weird
it's-
with Native
well,
American, but like.
it's problematic in some ways. But
Yeah.
But in terms of their relationship, it actually like with Bella and Edward. I just combined Edward and Ella.
That's funny.
Their relationship is basically she sees him and like, who is that guy? And then he saves her from the car and she just wants to know what his deal is.
Yeah.
Where with Jacob, like she actually, because I think she had known him from coming.
They had grown up together.
Yeah, so like it's genuine in a weird way that Twilight usually isn't. And like when I look back on that, I have very good memories of reading that book, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, 'cause I don't look on Twilight. When I read those books, I enjoyed them, so I don't
Until the last book.
Well, the last book sucked.
The last book made me so angry.
The last book, yeah. But like in general, like I had a good experience reading those books, even though I don't think they're good. But I think that New Moon, like it just establishes, even in Eclipse, actually, their relationship. But that was annoying at that point. And we won't get into that. But anyway. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and it's a problem, especially again because it's a YA book. This is a 17-year-old girl too. Yeah. Like she's not over 21. She doesn't okay. Not that I'm saying that teenagers don't have opinions and voices. It just becomes problematic.
Not developed yet.
Right, exactly. It becomes problematic when you put them in these situations that are problematic for like a 21-year-old or older to go through, let alone a 17-year-old to have to make these choices. Agreed. And it's okay. You know. But anyway.
And so we get back to the conversation between Clea and Raina, and Clea points out the other women lived with him for a long time too. Maybe he waits until their defense isn't down and then just, wow, Clea, you're so jaded. Like you found your soulmate. So she flip-flopped again.
Right, yeah.
Like, God damn it, Raina. Like let her not want to like lose her virginity to a weird guy.
Well, she even says something kind of weird because when they're talking about this, she's like, can't you just accept it and be happy? Like, so kind of like guilting Clea. And so then she says, well, sometimes he doesn't act like he's my soulmate. Sometimes I think maybe he liked the other women more. I think maybe he wishes I was one of them.
Wow, this is seriously deep.
Yeah.
You're a feeling of insecurity because you're jealous of yourself?
Yeah, that was kind of, yeah.
Shut up, Raina.
Come on, Raina. Like, it's just all over the place. Like, I don't quite know how this conversation is.
And then Ben gets pulled into it.
Yeah, that's...
And, like, she's like, why is he so jealous? Because he's been in love with you forever.
Well,
what do you mean? Let's pull up these pictures from
paparazzi.
Carnival. Yeah.
Of course they followed them.
Honestly, I don't know how you survive without Google alerts on yourself. The paparazzis were out in full force for Carnival. And then, like... She brings up all these pictures of Ben, like, staring at her with puppy eyes. And
that's what I do when I'm in love with someone. When they're not looking, I go...
There is one picture of Kevin looking at me like that from our wedding.
Well, that's...
And I love it.
Yeah.
But that's different.
Right.
Like...
I definitely understand. Yeah, and I know what picture you're talking about. You showed me, and I love that picture.
I love him. And then... it's so weird. Because Clea goes... Ben and I are like brothers and sisters. That's gross.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I read Flowers in the Attic. It was kind of hot. Shut up, Raina.
That actually...
You just admitted that you like incest. Ew. Think about you have a brother.
You know what? There's like that would be too long of a conversation. Like I have no words to say about it.
I feel like the only people that are into incest, like porn and stuff like that, don't have siblings because you... like, oh God, like it makes me so queasy just the thought of
the only thing, and again, I know I bring this up all the time. I know you don't want to read it, but in Game of Thrones, because you watch the show, Cersei and
that made
Jaime
me so uncomfortable in the very first episode.
Well, but the thing about it is that as the show goes on, the books, it actually like makes you like it's not like. It's
for power.
It's creepy, yeah, but it's not even power. It's just that they're twins. They always were like Cersei's very attracted to
the most disgusting face
she
right
wants
now.
she wants to be viewed the same way as her father views her brother, like, so just as good as a man. So she sees herself, so you're right, it is kind of a power thing. She wants to be powerful, and she sees herself in him, and that's why she's attracted to him, because he's her twin. He looks just like her. But it's weird, but it psychologically, like, understands where this, like,
yeah, but when you...
It's still weird.
I don't like what you just said.
What?
If you put an understanding to something...
Right.
To make it okay...
Well, I don't think... Well, I don't think... Well, that's the problem. It doesn't make it okay. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of, like, gets into their heads, but, like, at the same time... Cersei's still a character, like, where you read... Like, it tries to unveil her, but it's like, she's still a freak, like... so messed up. Like, when you read some of the stuff she does, like, I just finished reading the 4th and 5th books, and she does some weird ass shit, and, like, it explains, but at the same time, there's never a point where you're like, this woman's a good person, you know?
I have so many skeevy things about, like, I feel dirty.
I know.
Like, just talking about...
Yeah, let's not even, yeah. Can you do that again? Yeah, it's just weird. Like, oh, I read Flowers in the Attic. It was kind of hot. It's like,
shut up.
It's like, that's your reaction?
Of that whole book.
Yeah, that book,
the psychological torment those children went through.
That book is messed up.
I haven't read it, but I know it.
I haven't read it. I know a lot about it, and I know that it's so freaking twisted. It's just, oh God. Anyway.
So, then they talk about her feelings more. I love Ben, she said. You know that I think you guys could be great together. This is Renee talking. Not just as romantic feeling, but like the guys in Europe, but true soulmates, destined to be together forever because they're perfect for each other. You and Sage, true soulmates? I don't know. But I do know that you're cheating yourself if you don't at least try to find out. No.
Well, but that's... Yeah, because then... No. Because that's going directly against... She's talking about Ben liking her, and they have a moment, she tells Rhaena, and it's like...
No.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but you're... What? It's just frustrating. This whole conversation is very frustrating.
It's very frustrating. So then they're like, oh, let's get the boys together and we'll have pizza.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
And like, we'll really find out whether or not Sage is attracted to you.
Oh, yeah, because she tells her they make a promise on their friendship that she has to think with her heart. And there's this interesting part. I don't know.
Yeah, this one.
No, because it says, okay, this is one of the lines. I want to read it to you. So it says, when the boys come in the room, we can backtrack a little, but the boys come in and Clea's trying to do what Rhaena said, where she's like not really thinking.
With the flow.
Yeah, going with the flow. And she says, oops, I was already messing up. I was supposed to not focus. Shut up. It wasn't how I normally functioned. I'd have to think like Rhaena. I'd have to think logically. And I read that and I'm like, Rhaena thinks logically? So not thinking is thinking logically?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like
I don't know. Because it's telling it like a YA novel. It's telling kids don't listen to your head.
Right, and it's weird because like that's another thing actually that is in a lot of YA fiction. Like think with your heart. Yeah, just do it. And it's like there is a time and place for that kind of mentality, but like not here.
Not here. When you're in a room,
this could be dangerous.
He could be so dangerous. He's a stranger. You knew him for 48 hours.
Yeah, but she's known him in past lives, Brittany. That makes it okay.
Fuck off. So they get there, and Rhaena, not so subtly, is like, let's watch movies. But Clea and Sage, why don't you go get us some snacks?
And Ben, help me with my homework. Like, wow.
Nice. So they go traveling, and I close the book because I'm so done with this chapter.
Yeah.
I could sum it up in 2 sentences. I'm going to actually do that, and like then we'll talk about how problematic it is and all your little sticky notes.
Yeah.
So they go off to go have snacks, and Clea turns off her brain and just listens to her heart, meaning her vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, that's what happens when you say, fuck it, I don't care about repercussions, and they bone in the car.
In Rhaena's car, by
In
the way.
Rhaena's car. Yeah, they fuck on the front seat.
First of all, if she's recognized everywhere, you might want to be... they pull over somewhere, right? Are they in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
So
they pull into like a parking lot. They're in the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
Trying to find like snacks.
As
And
one
they
does.
pull over. They went to go get the pizza too. Something like that. They went to get the pizza and snacks.
Yeah.
That's what that was. And so they like talk about, she demands to know like how he's feeling, and because she has these feelings and it's complicated, and he's like, you already know.
And he's like, don't look at me, Clea. And she won't. He's like, not. And he's like, look at me. And she looks up and he's like, not at my nose, look in my eyes. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I hate everything about this rest of this chapter.
Yeah, but they do the do.
And
it's her.
And he had condoms on him, didn't
Oh yeah,
he?
that's another thing.
At least they talked about that.
Yeah, that was
That was
interesting.
okay.
Yeah, because I was surprised. I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
You don't remember the sex scene from when you first
Nope,
read it?
I do not remember this at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, at least they're responsible.
At least their response was a good job, guys. That was a thoughtful choice. Weird, but thoughtful.
Well, because it was interesting because this book has been so weird with its details, and like
Yes.
actually kind of like that detail.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's the only detail that was okay.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's not problematic.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, they have sex. I don't know how much else there is to talk about.
What are your little sticky? Oh,
That was it.
you only had one sticky note that whole.
Yeah, I just wrote.
And
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it was important. Actually, I think I already talked about it, so never mind.
And then she feels like so relieved that it happened. She had all this tension built up because that's what sex does. It
Right.
relieves tension. You
Right.
know, she's not thinking with her heart; she's thinking with her hormones.
Right. And
There's this guy. He's sexy, and like you've been craving it for a while. You almost boned Ben back in Carnival, which would have been illegal because she's only 17 and he's in his 20s.
right. Yeah.
So I don't know what the laws in
Well, yeah.
Rio are.
Yeah.
But that would not be okay in New York. New
No.
York, it's 18 and over.
Right.
And I don't know what it is in Connecticut.
True.
But like, so here's all these like feelings and emotions, and she's going through all this adrenaline, and like that's what manipulators use when they try to get someone to fall in love with them. They use tactics of adrenaline and like horror movies and stuff like that to get because adrenaline and love have the same kind of feeling. So they put you in traumatic situations and be like, I'm here, I'm there. Like, I've been with you this entire time. And it fools your brain to think that it's love.
Right. Right.
So she is on high alert, and she's been on high alert for weeks. She hasn't slept. She hasn't eaten. She's been running from these snatchers. She's been on these plane rides, flipping time zones. She's worried about her dad. She's worried about these secret societies. And who's been there the whole time? Sage.
Right.
And so she's in love with him, and then they bone. And, like, if you think about all of her past lives, they've all been in stressful situations that imitate love.
Right. Exactly. Not good.
No, not
Good at all. And this is a random detail, but you just reminded me.
Ah, you're so close.
Just missed it. So one thing I just thought about was the fact that they have been traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. And my first thought was when they got back to her house, they got in the plane. Like, did they wash up at all? Like,
No.
she's still. So, what did she look like? Now I'm wondering.
Did
Like,
she wash up
in the plane or in the room?
the room?
Did they have a room before they got to?
No, I'm talking about like now when they at
Well,
the hotel.
I think
Before they left.
well, because she did grab stuff. She grabbed a duffel bag to take with her, so
Yeah.
she put like her sweats in there because it does say she changed into some sweats at some
She
point.
might have bathed.
Well, I mean before they got back to her house when she met her mom.
Oh no!
So that's when I don't know why that's why I was flipping my pages because I swear I put a note about that, but I don't know where it
Yeah,
is. But
you mean like from the woods? Onto
Yeah.
the plane? Yeah, because she passed through security without shoes.
right,
I think.
yeah, because she didn't have shoes. That's right, unless they bought some. But I don't. They did go to the drug. Didn't they go
They
to a
did. I
store?
think she got flip flops.
Yeah, so I think she got some kind of shoes. But like
Yeah.
she. Like, I'm thinking, is she presentable right now? Like, wouldn't she be like, oh, I better take a shower real quick so I
Yeah,
can
she's
look
gonna
like...
be a fucking mess.
Because wouldn't her mom be, like, concerned? Like, what happened
she's
to you?
only wearing her black dress.
Right,
They
exactly.
made a specific point about that when they are leaving the airport.
Yeah.
So she's coming home Reina is only in her camisole. Mm-hmm. Clea is wearing a black dress.
Oh, that's probably where I missed my note. Yeah,
that's not suitable for the weather. And Reina's jacket. What is going on?
It's just weird. It's just something I thought of right now. But yeah.
No, that's a good point.
It's just weird details.
Oh, that's weird.
But anyway.
But they are, I think they go shopping now, too,
yeah,
don't they? Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, because they definitely they're much more prepared this time around, which makes sense. You know, but
they're going to fucking Japan.
Yeah, they're going to Japan. Shibuya.
Yeah, so next episode, we're going to be talking about their adventures in Japan.
Oh, we're going to be finishing up the book, fam, folks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
2 chapters? Is it finished?
3 chapters, actually.
Oh, 3 chapters.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm so excited.
I'm not even going to touch my book. I'm just going to fucking rant because it's so bad.
We're going to have such a fun time.
Oh, my God. I'm so angry.
Brittany, don't give it away.
I know.
It's going to be so juicy. We'll get into it. But anyway, folks, here's a quick reminder because, we always forget to do it during the episode because we're good at our jobs.
It's not a job. We don't get paid for
That's
shit.
true. That's true. We're good at our volunteer project. Today's episode is sponsored by Audible.com. Visit audibletrial.com/BaBaT for your free 30-day trial and a free book of your choice.
There are over 180 titles.
So true.
They have
180,000.
The great works or something like that.
Oh, the great courses they have, which also counts. So
those cost like a couple $100.
Yeah, they're definitely worth getting. I've actually, I get way more than I should, but because I get the credits every month, so I have a ton of courses from the great courses, really interesting courses too. I have listened to a few in the past. Mm-hmm. So, I have a Shakespeare one. I have a lot about the Bible, which is really interesting. Writing courses. Oh, my God.
Honestly, I think you could get the Bible on Audible, too, can't you?
I'm sure there's a ton of different versions. Yeah, I'm sure.
There's so many things you could get on there. I think on Audible, there's this book that I listened to called Information Doesn't Want to Be Free.
You told me about this.
That one was good.
Yeah.
I like that one. That was very... innovative when they which is interesting that they have it on Audible because it's basically saying don't get Audible.
right
So
yeah, but it's interesting though. It's very interesting.
It's very interesting.
There's your book recommendation for the day, folks. So get on out there. Go to audibletrial.com/BaBaT. Did
you hear that burp?
No. Okay. Well, I mean, I heard something, but
that was me burping.
I'll cut it out.
It's fine. I don't care. Our cover art and all that type of stuff was designed by Katie Hartung. Her link is in the show notes. She's a good friend of ours.
Yes.
And she does pretty awesome work, so go check her out. She also does some freelancing on the side, but it's not her main job, so give her some time. But yeah, she's pretty cool. It's khart.com.
Khart Graphics?
Khart Graphics.
I think.
Something. It's in our show notes. Yeah. Go check her out. And our music is done by
Kevin MacLeod.
Kevin MacLeod.
Yes,
we used his music last season as well.
We did.
We really like it.
Oh yeah, he's a gem on our podcast. So
thanks
Kevin.
Thanks, Kev. You can check us out on our website. It's BaBaT. BaBaTpodcast.com. On there, you get links to all of our episodes and all of our different formats. It's on iTunes, it's on Stitchers, all that type of good, happy shit. You will also find little bios about ourselves. I wrote my own, so there's probably spelling errors. Check that out. Please critique me. There's also links to all of our social medias. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads. We have a Gmail account, all that good happy shit. We have stuff that are in the works.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that soon.
It's very exciting.
But yeah, do we have anything else to say?
No, I think that's it. Next episode, we'll be finishing up the book, chapters 11 through 13. So
shit, we had to put a poll up. Or no, wait, what are we doing next?
We're reading Where'd You Go, Bernadette next.
Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Yeah, I guess we should probably say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next book we're reading is Where'd You Go, Bernadette. I forget the author, but it's a pretty prominent book. I don't think you're going to have a hard time finding it.
No, not at all.
So that will be the next book we're reading, which is an interesting pick because it might not necessarily be a bad book. I mean, it might be. It's had very good ratings, so
Well, it's only at 3.5.
Oh, really?
4, something like that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll see. It's going to be, I think it's very different from our other picks. So I'm excited.
Yes, it's going to be very different.
Yeah, but I got to be honest with you. I really miss Lost in a Book. I was telling Brittany, I want a sequel to that book. Who would have thought that I would miss that book?
Because it was fun.
It was so much fun.
And, like, honestly, it was so much better written than the past 2 books that we've read so far.
Oh,
it was our best written book.
Lost in a Book. We hardly knew ye.
We didn't give you enough credit.
No.
A solid 5 out of 5.
Solid 5 out of 5. Yeah, would read again.
Would read again.
Probably would, actually. I mean, just for the fun of it, but it's a quick book. So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it. Hope you had a fun time with us today. We had fun with you. Oh, all right. So we're going to end the episode, folks. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.